All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from Sin City, Las Vegas. Cody the Dominator Burke and Patrick Pieper have the front row. Chad Ragsdale, David Farnan on the second row. Kirk Marble and Devin McDonald have the third row. Matthew Logan, Andy Kirchenbauer on the fourth. Joshua Rudolph and Alex Harper rounding out the top 10. Tyler Thomas starting in 11 next to Cody Kennedy in 12th. Austin Ruskoff in 13th. Thomas Myers in 14th. Scott Roney in 15th. Jesse Gordon in 16th. Richie Ragsdale 17th. Nicholas Johnson in 18th. Mark Dantuma is showing up. He is in race control tonight. Everybody get buckled up and ready to go. The sun's going down. The lights will come up. The track is cooling down. Now down to 72. Air around 70 degrees. Hey, good evening, Ryan. Ryan and Brian didn't make the race tonight. Everybody's safe. As we mentioned, 4 drivers will be eliminated from the playoffs tonight. Right now, Joshua Rudolph, Scott Roney, Alex Harper, and Kirk Marble are the 4 most likely drivers. Only 2 drivers, though, are locked in. Jesse Gordon and Cody Burke. Matthew Logan, Chad Ragsdale, CJ Jeffries, Patrick Pieper, Devin McDonald, Austin Ruskoff, all could be eliminated. All right, the Dominator leads them around on the pace lap. Everybody stacked up, ready to go here at Vegas. 101 laps, 23 to 25 laps on a tank of fuel here tonight. All right, here we go. The pace car dives in. And the green flag flies. They are down and away in Las Vegas. Side by side as everybody heads off into turn 1. As we saw Thursday, man, it's going to get 3 and 4 wide here very quickly. And everybody trying to get what they can here in the early going. Everybody holds on to the car. Cody Burke leads lap 1. Tire wear will be a bit of an issue. They've only got 2 additional sets of tires tonight. So one of their fuel stops, they will have to run on old tires. Andy Kirchenbauer already on the move, up into 6th. Scott Roney up to 13th. Richie Ragsdale up to 15th. There's a lot of close racing going on mid-pack. Oh, really close coming down the backstretch. David Farnan and Chad Ragsdale get very, very close. Ragsdale on the bottom. Oh, Farnan gets the wall. Just a little kiss and a little loss of momentum. Indy's going to slip by. Devin McDonald now peeking underneath. That high line is fast, but the slightest mistake could, as we saw, send you into the wall. Kirk Marble got the wall at a 4. Patrick Pieper right behind him. Looked like he had to back out to avoid him. Indy Kirchenbauer now in 5th, right on Chad Ragsdale's back bumper. Now looking underneath as they go down the backstretch. Devin McDonald back behind in 6th, closing in. Wow, it gets tight off turn 4. They are using every bit of the track here tonight. As the race goes on, this track will transition as the sun goes down and the lights come up. Things will get even more interesting. Cooler track. These cars have a bigger tendency to get loose, and we saw in practice just how loose some of them are here tonight. Speaking of loose, Nicholas Johnson has not gone drifting yet. He is back in 17th, trying to make some ground up. Meanwhile, Cody Burke starting to pull away from Kirk Marble. Has got a 1 1/4 second lead as Indy Kirchenbauer has just taken 3rd from Patrick Pieper. Devin McDonald now up into 5th. Chad Ragsdale in 6th, David Farnan in 7th, Matthew Logan in 8th, Alex Harper in 9th, Cody Kennedy in 10th. The man on the move right now, though, is Richie Ragsdale. Richie already up 6 spots into 11th, and he is closing in on the cars ahead. Thomas Myers also back in the car tonight after a rough first race back last week at the Roval. He does believe he's got his wheel issues figured out. We'll see if he can make up some ground here tonight as he goes on the attack on Joshua Rudolph. But he looked a little squirrely coming down the backstretch, but saves it into 3. Cody Burke's lead is shrinking. Kirk Marble is closing in. Remember, Kirk Marble is one of the 4 drivers in the elimination zone tonight. He has got to win to advance. Indy Kirchenbauer back in 3rd. Richie Ragsdale trying to close the gap up on Cody Kennedy. And now Richie has Tyler Thomas and Scott Roney on his bumper. And it looks like Thomas may have a bit of a run. Ragsdale holds him off. Oh, look like Indy may have kissed the wall at a turn 4. Devin McDonald has made his way to 4th as we've got a battle on for the lead. Kirk Marble has the run. He'll take the lead from the Dominator. Kirk Marble comes into tonight with 2 wins this season. Looking for tonight to be win number 3 and keep him in the playoffs. Alex Harper back in 8th place. Alex also looking to race his way to continue in the playoffs, but he will have to win tonight as well. Joshua Rudolph, Scott Roney also have to win to continue. Scott currently in 12th. And Joshua Rudolph has had problems right from the start. He has slipped back into 16th. He needs a well-timed caution, some fresh tires, and a little help to get back into this fight. Indy Kirchner back in 3rd, about 1.6 seconds behind that lead battle. Devin McDonald now in 4th. CJ, yep, you missed a big one, buddy, but I don't think you're out of it quite yet. I believe Matthew Logan did lock in at the start of the race. Chad Ragsdale with a good finish will lock himself in. CJ, you've got a little bit of ground to hopefully keep you in it. Oh, Chad gets the wall. Kirk Marble already pulling away from the Dominator. Indy Kirchenbauer starting to inch closer. Oh, CJ. Everybody's settling into a rhythm. They're just a few laps shy of that first pit stop. Remember, 23 to 25 laps. What most of the drivers were talking about on fuel. Most of them are going to want to try and stretch it to that 25 lap mark and do this race on 3 stops. Otherwise, having to make that extra stop could be catastrophic. Folks, don't forget, if you missed any of this season's races, you can find them all on our YouTube channel. And for the last few months, they have been coming out in 4K. Plus, you can find a lot of the race highlights and a lot of other great YouTube shorts on our channel. Patrick Pieper currently in 5th. Alex, whoa! David Farnan is in early. And looks like Farnan will be the first driver in. Means he is likely going to have to make that extra pit stop tonight. However, he will have the freshest tires on track. And the fall off in the first 20 laps has been significant. Kirk Marble's fastest lap, 30.40 last time by, 31.74. That is pretty consistent. At least 1.25 seconds per lap slower. David Farnan is back out on fresh tires. There you see him on the high side. As much as Nicholas Johnson was drifting, I don't know, I'd want to be on his high side. As much as we saw him drifting in practice. But it looks like Farnan took fuel only on his first stop, and Devin McDonald is in. Here comes the leader. Kirk Marble is in. Indy Kirchenbauer, Patrick Pieper, Alex Harper, Cody. Everybody is coming in. Cody Burke is staying out. Matthew Logan, Chad Ragsdale, Joshua Rudolph, Austin Ruskoff, Richie Ragsdale all staying out. Everybody else is in. And here he comes, the Dominator brings it in. Chad Ragsdale thinks he can go another lap. Boy, that'll get, if he can make it without running out of fuel, he'll have a huge advantage. And looks like most of this field took fuel only on their first stop. Chad Ragsdale coming in now. Burke on his way out. And here comes Kirk Marble. Now the question is, who will come out ahead on this deal? Marble has a head of steam, but Burke is out. And it looks like the gap stabilized. Cody Burke now in second, but Chad Ragsdale on his way out. Not quickly enough. Cody Burke will reassume the lead. Quite a battle going on from third on back. Devin McDonald in third. Indy Kirchenbauer fourth. Patrick Pieper in fifth. David Farnan lurking right behind in sixth. Alex Harper back in seventh. 1.1 seconds back. But Harper is closing in. The Dominators lead starting to grow again. Now 1.25 seconds over Kirk Marble. Devin McDonald still holding on to third, but man. Indy Kirchenbauer, Patrick Pieper, and David Farnan all right there nose to tail. Scott Roney on the move, up 5 spots now into 10th. Cody Kennedy up 4 spots into 8th. Alex Harper up 3 spots into 7th. Jesse Gordon up 3 spots into 13th. Richie Ragsdale, who was on the move early, and he lost a lot of ground on pit road. He has slipped back to 15th. Doesn't look like Richie got any kind of penalty, just slow on and off pit road. Alex Harper, Patrick Pieper battling it out. I'm sorry, that is Farnan. Andy Kirchenbauer and Patrick Pieper battling for fourth now. Devin McDonald in third, trying to close a 4-second gap up to Kirk Marble. Boy, David Farnan all night long has been right up there by the wall. He's kissed it once. Whoa, I think Pieper just bounced off, sending himself underneath Indy. Cody Burke continues to hold a 1.3 second lead over Kirk Marble. Jesse Gordon has now made his way up into 12th and is closing the gap on Matthew Logan. Meanwhile, 8th place Cody Kennedy, 9th place Scott Roney, Chad Ragsdale in 10th, Matthew Logan in 11th. All right there in line. All separated by less than a second at the moment. It would be great to see Cody back up on the podium here tonight. Can he get it done? Andy Kirchenbauer looking for third from Devin McDonald. Indy the Kid has a bit of a run underneath. Devin trying to fight back up top. But if the sun continues to set, the track will cool drastically. And I think we'll see the lines these guys use change. These cars could become a big handful. Cody Burke's lead now growing about 1.5 seconds over Kirk Marble. Devin McDonald back in fourth. Patrick Pieper, Alex Harper right there. Alex Harper's one of the drivers that has to win to continue in the playoffs. Patrick Pieper right there on the bubble. Meanwhile, Cody Burke is extending his lead now to 2.4 seconds. Nicholas Johnson, who's back in 18th, appears to have taken tires on that first stop and appears to be the only driver that did. Austin Ruskoff surprisingly has slipped back to 17th. Austin, another playoff contender. He was right on the bubble coming into tonight. Whoa, Richie Ragsdale squarely out of 4. Austin Ruskoff definitely on the bubble tonight. Joshua Rudolph or Scott Roney could potentially score enough points to bump him out. And Cody Burke, somehow doing Cody Burke things, continues to extend his lead, now almost 3.5 seconds over Kirk. Andy Kirchenbauer in third, just under 3 seconds behind Kirk, but he is closing in. Patrick Pieper in fourth, Alex Harper in fifth is peaking. Devin McDonald in sixth, right there with him. Devin just needs a good finish. He can finish where he is now. Wow, that got a little close. Devin could finish where he is now. He would continue in the playoffs. Alex gets the run out of turn 4. Alex Harper now to fourth. Remember, we did have a few drivers like David Farnan pit early. I would expect Farnan to be in the next few laps. The rest of them should be right around the halfway point at lap 50. The fuel strategy tonight, at least here in the early going, is gonna be extremely important, especially if this race stays green flag. Oh! Devin McDonald tried to knock the wall down coming out of 4. That gave Farnan enough of a run underneath David Farnan, now to 6th. Back behind Scott Roney, Chad Ragsdale battling it out, Cody Kennedy, and Matthew Logan right behind him. They're leaving enough of a gap. Cody Kennedy may take the opportunity to drive straight up the middle. He had a bit of a run coming through 3 and 4. Might have looked like he was developing a run, but had to shift up the track and lost some momentum. And while these guys battle, Matthew Logan gets closer. Farnan is coming in. Farnan likely to take 4 tires on this stop. Let's see when he hits his stall what it's going to be. Right sides go up and tires go on. Devin McDonald is in. David Farnan on his way back out, 4 tires and fuel. He will be the fastest car on track for the next few laps. Meanwhile, Cody Burke continues to stretch fuel. Devin McDonald is on his way back out. Kirk Marble, Andy Kirchenbauer, Alex Harper, and Patrick Pieper still the top 5. These guys do have to be careful on pit road tonight. Kirk Marble is in. Indy Kirchenbauer, Alex Harper, Patrick Pieper, Scott Roney, Cody Kennedy are all in. Remember, Chad Ragsdale stretched further than anybody on that first run. That could pay big dividends towards the end of this race. Cody Burke continuing to stay out. Ragsdale also likely will stay out. Matthew Logan staying out as well. Tyler Thomas is bringing it in. Joshua Rudolph, Austin Ruskoff, Richie Ragsdale all staying out. Kirk Marble on his way back on track. Oh, the Dominator heads in, had a little bobble coming in. Chad Ragsdale likely to go another lap or two. Oh, holy cow, Ragsdale was loose out of 4. Well, we saw it in practice. These cars can snap loose on you here very quickly. Especially now that they are laying down some rubber. Surprisingly, the track is getting hotter. Gerald, it's definitely got some interesting race strategy going on here tonight. Chad Ragsdale should be in next time by. And here he comes, Ragsdale giving up the lead. That is likely to cycle back to Cody Burke. But he did lose some time on pit road. Kirk Marble less than a second behind. David Farnan 1.1 seconds back. The field is actually tightened up a little bit. Farnan gets the wall again. McDonald has a run under. Chad Ragsdale is on his way back out. Matthew Logan currently running in 10th, now up to 9th. Ragsdale will come out in 10th. Meanwhile, Kirk Marble in second is closing in, and he has Devin McDonald and David Farnan right behind him. Indy Kirchenbauer back in 5th is also closing in as Cody Kennedy has had a problem back behind. All right, there's Cody coming down the back straightaway. Off into 3 and 4, lets it slide up the track, but big loose out of turn 4. Through the infield, keeps it pointed the right direction. Gets it up on the apron, back up on the track, a great save. Meanwhile, we have a 4-car battle for the lead. Kirk Marble goes by Burke up top. They're going to be 3 wide for second as David Farnan goes to second. Devin McDonald right there with him. Wow, David Farnan is really liking that wall tonight. Richie Ragsdale has had a problem. We'll take a look at Ragsdale's incident here in a moment. David Farnan has a little bobble out of turn 4. Kirk holds on to it for the moment. All right, let's see what happened. All right, let's see what happened with Richie Ragsdale coming down the back straightaway. Likely to see a similar issue to what we saw with Cody Kennedy a moment ago. Oh, a hard hit into the outside wall. Gets it a little sideways through the grass, gets it onto pit road. Wow, what a save. The track is now rubbered in all the way around. With the sun setting and the track temperature changing, these cars are going to handle substantially differently. You have to wonder, are they burning a little bit more fuel? The hotter track temps will slow them down just a little bit. Kirk Marble out front, Devin McDonald in second, David Farnan in third. The Dominator back in fourth, and Devin's going for the lead. He gets the nose ahead as they go off into turn 3. Kirk has the momentum advantage up top. You should have shown him how you do it, Gerald. Scott Roney back in 5th, Indy Kirchhammer in 6th, Patrick Pieper in 7th, Alex Harper in 8th, Chad Ragsdale now back up to 9th, Matthew Logan in 10th. Kirk Marble is starting to open up a lead. Now 1.2 seconds over Devin. Farnan in third. Now is Burke closing back in. Scott Roney back in 5th, trying to run him down. Remember, Farnan was the first one in. He has the oldest tires. Burke has the run underneath Farnan to take back third. Meanwhile, Kirk Marble's lead holding at 1 1/4 seconds. Don't forget, only 2 drivers are locked into the next round of the playoffs. One of them being Jesse Gordon, who is out early. Cody Burke has moved back up to second as Devin McDonald has slipped back to third and battling with Farnan. Farnan does have the older tires by several laps. Meanwhile, Chad Ragsdale back in ninth is closing in. Remember, Ragsdale was the last one on pit road. He does have the freshest tires and at the moment is the fastest car on track. And just drives by Alex Harper to take 8th. Meanwhile, Cody Burke is closing back up on Kirk Marble. Scott Roney, currently running in 5th, is the biggest mover so far tonight. Roney started in 15th and is now up into 5th. Scott Roney, one of the 4 drivers that was in the elimination zone, coming into tonight, doing exactly what he needs to do to stay in the playoffs. And David Farnan is back on pit road. At some point, Farnan will have to make an extra stop for fuel. Gotta wonder how many drivers back behind are conserving. And Devin McDonald is coming in. It looked like, based on strategy, most of these drivers were planning on a 100-lap race. They forgot about that extra lap. Kirk Marble has to win to advance tonight. And right now, he's got a 2-second lead over the Dominator. Scott Roney is now up into 3rd. Another one that's got to race his way in tonight. And at the moment, Roney is running down Cody Burke. Thomas Myers is on pit road. And Kirk Marble is in. The Dominator continuing to stay out. Scott Roney is in. Chad Ragsdale obviously going to extend that fuel run. Patrick Pieper, Indy Kirchenbauer, Matthew Logan in a 3-car battle. Pieper has the momentum advantage up top, out of 2, pulls ahead. Now Logan looks on the high side of Indy. Pieper is bringing it in. Indy's going to follow. Alex Harper also coming in. Austin Ruskoff, Joshua Rudolph, both conserving fuel. And Burke is going to stay out one more time. Should be able to pit next time by and go the distance. But Chad Ragsdale can go several more laps. Ragsdale can go at least 3 more laps than everybody else. And we know a few guys like Kirk Marble, David Farnan, Scott Roney are going to have to come back in at minimum for a splash of fuel. Matthew Logan, Joshua Rudolph, Austin Ruskoff are in. This is going to get very interesting. And here he comes. Cody Burke is in. Ragsdale's coming in now. That is unexpected. Ragsdale could have gone at least a couple more laps. David Farnan currently scored in third with Kirk Marble right behind. Most of the field took tires. Matthew Logan and Andy Kirchenbauer took fuel only. Cody Kennedy appears to have also taken fuel only. David Farnan now assumes the lead. Kirk Marble in second. Scott Roney moves back into third. Cody Burke on his way back out in fourth. Matthew Logan right behind in fifth. Now we know David Farnan pitted early every time. He is going to have to come in for fuel as Kirk Marble runs him down. The question is, can Kirk Marble, Scott Roney, Cody Burke... We know Cody Burke and Chad Ragsdale can make it further than anybody else. Chad Ragsdale did come off pit road back in ninth. But he also has some of the freshest tires as Cody Burke just set the fastest lap of the night. Kirk Marble has reassumed the lead. 20 laps to go. Can he win his way in? It's going to come down to, does he have enough fuel? Only 2 drivers on track guaranteed to go the distance. Cody Burke, who pitted on lap 78, and Chad Ragsdale also pitting on lap 78. And Ragsdale now to 7th. Chad Ragsdale is on the move, and due to those fresher tires, he's one of the fastest cars on track. Scott Roney currently holding on to third. Burke closing in. Scott trying to keep himself in the playoffs as well. Kirk Marble's lead continues to grow. Now 1.8 seconds over Farnan. Chad Ragsdale, meanwhile, has made his way up to 5th. Chad Ragsdale is now locked into the playoffs. And Ragsdale is closing the gap on fourth place Scott Roney. Roney wisely staying right in Burke's tire tracks for as long as he can. David Farnan in second, now 3.5 seconds behind the leader, Kirk Marble. Marble had to be a little bit worried. Farnan is in. David Farnan has given up third. He is on pit road. This is likely to be a splash and go. Let's see what his team strategy is here. He hits his pit stall. 7 seconds of fuel. He's on his way. But he does end up going a lap down for the moment. But again, we don't know how many drivers are going to need to come in to top off. Nicholas Johnson battling with the leader, trying to maintain the lead lap. Cody Burke has made his way to second. He is 4.25 seconds behind the leader, but he is closing. Scott Roney still holds on to third. Chad Ragsdale is now up into fourth. And Chad Ragsdale has nailed the strategy here tonight better than anybody else. He's currently up into fourth. He is running down the third place car. And at the moment, he's about a half a second a lap faster than Scott Roney. But at the moment, Scott Roney is the biggest mover of the night. Those bonus points likely going to pay off, may keep him in the playoffs as well. Only David Farnan has been in so far to top off as the leader gets 10 to go. Kirk Marble still battling with the lap car of Nicholas Johnson. Cody Burke now 2.8 seconds back in second. Scott Roney still holds on to third, but Chad Ragsdale now just 3.8 seconds back in fourth. Devin McDonald still holding on to fifth. Patrick Pieper in sixth. Matthew Logan in seventh. Alex Harper in eighth. Indy Kirchenbauer slipped back to ninth. Joshua Rudolph in 10th. Austin Ruskoff, who's been conserving fuel all night, he is up to 11th. He is another one that can go the distance on fuel, we do believe, and could make up a lot of ground if anybody runs out of fuel. Kirk Marble just trying to stay in the draft and have enough fuel to make it 7 more laps. Cody Kennedy and Devin McDonald have both just come to pit road. Six to go. Who else has to come in? Chad Ragsdale continuing to close in on Scott Roney, now just 2.7 seconds back. Cody Burke now 1.4 seconds out of the lead. The top 10 may get shaken up here in a moment. Third place, Scott Roney may still need fuel. It's gonna be close. Devin McDonald needed 6 seconds worth of fuel. The closer they get, the less fuel they need, but any time on pit road now is fatal. Kirk Marble still out front, but Cody Burke is 0.8 of a second back. Cody Burke is locked into the playoffs next round. Kirk Marble has to win tonight to get it done. And Cody Burke, Kirk Marble is in. Cody Burke has taken the lead. 3 to go. Scott Roney is in. Chad Ragsdale now to second. Will Matthew Logan come in? He stays out. Pieper stays out. Rudolph stays out. And Cody Burke comes by, gets 2 to go. And what a dramatic turn of events. And we may still see some drivers run out of fuel on the final lap. And here we go. The white flag flies for the Dominator one more time around. He got the strategy right and has had the speed all night long. Coming down the backstretch, he has a 10-second lead. And out of turn 4, Cody the Dominator Burke gets his 19th win of the season at Vegas. And Chad Ragsdale, the best strategy of the night, coming home in second. And Matthew Logan is going to hold on. And Logan will... No, Pieper comes home in third. Pieper gets him at the line. And folks, this just shook up the next round of the playoffs in a big, big way. We know Jesse Gordon and Cody Burke are locked in. Matthew Logan is now locked in. Chad Ragsdale also locked in. Patrick Pieper likely is locked in. Everybody else, I don't know. It's definitely going to be an interesting final races of the season, especially when you factor in next week, we're at Talladega. And let's see if we can talk to our top three, starting with third place, Patrick Pieper. Patrick, you just barely got third.
I squeaked by there. I was going to get really close that entire run. Like, I was saving, and then I was like, oh, I got enough. And then I was pushing, and then I was like, I don't have enough. And then I was saving, and and it was just a matter of basically just like kind of balancing it the whole way out there. I let Matthew by a few laps before the end there, and I was kind of just drafting him and staying part throttle and trying to keep a decent gap. And then on the last lap, I mean, I got that I had one lap of fuel left going into one, so I just kind of just hammered down the whole rest of the way and squeaked by and got it. I was trying to keep that streak of third and fourth alive. I wish I would have gotten third this morning, but no, that was a fun race because fun racing Matt there at the end.
Well, man, it was definitely a close one and a wild battle at the end, man. Congratulations.
All right, thank you, Doug.
Chad Ragsdale coming home in second. Chad, I have to say, I was surprised seeing you come in when Burke did on that final stop. I expected you to stretch it a few more laps.
Oh, that was it. He just somehow stretched it longer than I thought he would have. That last two runs, I ran 100% as hard as I could to try to make up that ground.
Well, man, you nailed the strategy tonight. I mean, we saw a bunch of guys that had to pit, that lost a ton of positions. You nailed the strategy right all night long to be here, and man, when it counted, you had a bunch of speed to go with it.
Yeah, I figured it was going to be the same way as Kansas. My only concern was the track was a lot faster than Kansas. Here, you could run almost wide open around the entire track. In Kansas, you had to lift, so you kind of had that time to save fuel, and I figured I'd just lose all the track position early on and hopefully not get a caution and make it all up at the end.
Well, man, you nailed it perfectly. It was an awesome race, and we could tell early on, after that first stop, you had something figured out. It paid off, man. Great job and a great finish.
Thank you.
And finally, for the 19th time this season, Cody the Dominator Burke. You know, at some point, they're going to have to find a way to depower your car.
Hey, tonight that might have came in handy with saving fuel.
Man, I have to say, you nailed it. Chad was the only one that beat you on strategy tonight. Had this played out a little differently, he would have got you. But, man, you had the strategy and the balance between fuel saving and speed down perfect from the get-go.
Yeah, I knew Chad was going to be really good on fuel to start the race. I was doing the math, and I knew what I needed to get to, and the first run I was a lap short. So Chad went, I think, another lap than me, so he had me worried most of that race. But the third long green flag run, I really conserved. That was the only chance I had.
Man, it was definitely in a wild and eventful third run, too. You had people ducking to pit road just when you least expected it. A few close calls coming out of turn 4, but overall, perfectly clean and a 19th win of the season.
Yeah, there was definitely some close calls that were coming off 4, but hey, it all worked out, and glad to get another one.
How many more do you need? There's only one more race that really matters after tonight.
That's the only one I'm worried about.
Well, man, a great job and a great win. Congratulations.
Thank you. See you next week.
Cody the Dominator Burke wins again. And folks, don't forget, tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern, Jones BS Racing is back. We will see you guys then. Hope y'all had as much fun as we did. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a great night, y'all.